Hey y'all, welcome back. This is Michelle from Michelle's Empty Nest, and today I thought I would talk about my Pieces of Home project. It was just done as a community-wide project with Allie Edwards last week, I think. It started on November 15th. I think I should have looked and double checked, but I didn't think to do that. But this was, it's part of Pieces of Life, which I finally ordered the patch for this time. I did not order it. I think it was available before and it sold out before I placed an order. And so I went ahead and ordered it. It's kind of the overarching theme for all these different weeks that we're doing. And so I ordered it, and I did not order the little enamel pins, but after seeing Allie's on her book, I really wish I had. So I may try to go back and order those the next time around when we do the next Pieces of blank, whatever that's going to be. So I have the Traveler's Notebook for Pieces of Home and the patch, and then I also have the felt folio, which will hold several different TNs. And the first one was Pieces of Me, and I did not do it. I took a few pictures and then I don't know. I did not continue on and finish it up. But looking at the prompts for this one, they're very simple. They're probably photos that if I look, I've taken something pretty similar to these very recently, or it would be very easy to take a photo that would fit the ones that maybe I don't have something already, and just be able to tell a story about those. So I really do need to go back and catch up on this one, because I know Allie said that she wanted to keep doing this project in the next year with different pieces of blank. So it will hold several different TNs in there, and I'm going to put my patch on the front. So I will do that. And then for Pieces of Home, the first collection that came to mind for me was the Heritage Collection from Maggie Holmes. And here is my envelope of it. I have quite a bit of it left. I've used parts and pieces of it for several different projects, but I did have a lot left. And because of the home idea and then this color of green, it shows up in the collection several times, and then just other shades of greens as well. So what I did was go through, and after I had my photos printed, which are at it's about 4 1/8 by 3.75, somewhere around in there. It's not quite square. I went through and just picked out some papers that I thought worked okay with my photos, and I trimmed them down. TNs are typically 4 1/4 by 8 1/4. I didn't want to have to deal with fighting with the seam or cutting extra off, so I cut them all just a little short, more like an 1/8 instead of a 1/4, so that I could just do those and have a border around that. I typically don't like that look, but I'm telling myself it's going to be okay this time. So I've already selected all my papers, have all my photos ready to go. So I'm not going to actually do all that on camera, because it's just going to be me gluing down things and then copying and pasting my journaling that I did each day onto Instagram. So I just didn't really feel like you probably wanted to see all that, but I did want to just kind of tell you what I was doing, walk you through my process, and then I want to do a flip through when I come back with this completed. So I'm going to go on away, get this taken care of, and I'll see you back in just a few. Okay, y'all, even though I said I was not going to film my process, I decided to just go ahead and turn the camera back on and film it anyway. I thought somebody might want to see it, and there were a few things that I wanted to just chat with you about. So I will say that things look very light. My hands are shiny because I had turned all of my lamps and overhead lights back on, because I didn't think I was going to film this, and I didn't think to turn them back off. So that's why things look a little different here. Um, but I am using this Mako clear matte sticker paper. It is
an excellent clear matte sticker paper. It's the best one I've used. I've tried about 4 different brands over a few years, and this one was recommended by a few different people, including Shu Wen over at Shoe Puff Creations. And if you just burnish it down, you'll see me doing that with an edge of my Teflon bone folder, or you can just use your finger, but after a while, it kind of gets a little tough on the fingertip there, but it just sort of melts into the background. So it is an excellent, excellent clear sticker paper. Now, I also here I'm going to go ahead and just decide to flip through and do all of my dates at one time to kind of speed up that process instead of having to pull it out several different times and pull my stamp pad out and all that. So I got all my dates done. And I am doing the same thing Allie did, where there's 2 extra pages between each prompt page. And she said she had them there in the design in case you wanted to do like long journaling or maybe some more art journaling type things. I didn't need either of those, and so I'm doing what she did and just adhering those 2 pieces of paper back to back. So this way you just flip straight from prompt to prompt to prompt. And on my pattern papers that I chose, all of them again from the Heritage Collection from Maggie Holmes, I'm not doing any kind of embellishing, no stamping, no anything. I just am letting the papers speak. They all remind me of like grandma's wallpaper or sheets or quilting, so they definitely have that homey feel. This is the only photo that I matted because it was a screenshot from an app on my phone, so it was very, very skinny, and I just felt like it looked a little lost and awkward up there. And so I just found that coordinating peachy looking paper to serve as a mat and fill in that space a little bit. I kept all the photos fairly uniform in size. Again, that makes the process go a little faster when you're editing your photos and printing them off. So, altogether, the put together part only took me about 15 or 16 minutes. Um, Obviously, that didn't include, choosing the papers or editing the photos, but that wasn't that bad of a process either. It was just 7 photos. They were taken over a period of a week. The journaling was done on Instagram over the period of the week, and I just copied and pasted straight from Instagram into these journaling boxes in Photoshop and made it super, super easy. And I just tried as I was going through, if there was like a honey gold background with a tabletop, I tried to pick a honey gold paper and just kind of have things that matched. I loved using this house paper at the end for home, and I just love how it turned out, and I'm ready to go ahead and do pieces of me.
Okay, so let's take a look at my finished traveler's notebook for the Pieces of Home documenting week. So as I mentioned earlier, the first thing that came to mind for this was the Maggie Holmes collection of Heritage. The color and just the idea of home, it just really brought that to mind. So in order to kind of keep it cohesive, I guess a cohesive feeling and color scheme throughout, I wanted to stick with that one collection, and so that's what I did with all of my papers. For the journaling, using the Mako matte clear sticker paper is wonderful for cutting and pasting, maybe like from an Instagram post to your journaling, or just typing up journaling that you want to put onto something that can't be easily run through your printer, like a traveler's notebook. It is so nice because you can think ahead. I do a better job of writing and journaling when I have time to sit at my computer and type and think and edit. You can also get more print on the page typically. So it's a wonderful thing to do. And then I just burnish it down with this end of a Teflon bone folder, and it just sort of melts it into the background, and you have to really look to tell that it's on sticker paper at all. So I had my prompt for table, which I told a story about this table that I'm sure my mom picked up at an estate sale at some point. She has been gone for 10 years now. I've had it for a little longer than that, and she had it for probably 30 years or more. It's, just about as long as I can remember she had this table. And it's always looked this same state of disarray with the missing paint, but I love it. I just can't bring myself to refinish it, and I just love it. It is a treasure of mine. Then the second prompt was clean, and so I told about how I have a little white pail in each of the 3 bathrooms, and they're all stocked with the same cleaning supplies, and that just makes going from floor to floor, bathroom to bathroom, so much easier to clean. I love things to be sparkling and clean, but I have OCD and I don't like germs and I don't like to get dirty. So the cleaning is not my favorite by a long shot, but doing something where it's kind of pretty, kind of cute, kind of fun, kind of interesting, it makes the chore a little more manageable. And then for make, I kind of approached it from the past tense of made, where I talked about today I made a mess. We were pulling things down from our attic to get ready for Christmas decorating, and I have a ton of stuff. This is not all of it. This is what was just in this portion of the house at the time in the dining room. But I had made just a complete mess, pulling things out of boxes and starting to get them where they belonged. And so that was a story I told that day. And then for door, I kind of sort of did this one in a probably maybe not what was necessarily meant to be. I know these are open to interpretation, but I did it looking on the app of my phone, which looks out my front door. We have the doorbell camera system. And so I just thought that would be kind of interesting. When you think about some of these things may seem insignificant, but if you think back to your grandparents, especially maybe your great-grandparents, if you didn't have a chance to know them for very long, or especially into your teenage and adult years, can you imagine if this was like some kind of new technology when they were born, or when they were, an adult or whatever, and they were telling the story about how they couldn't believe this was something that they were actually able to do, to look through their app on their phone, and see who is out there and what the sounds are and that kind of thing. So they may seem insignificant, but I think in future generations, these are going to be important things. And then for watch, I told the story of watching the product play class that day. This was with Kasha, I believe was this day on the 19th. So I just did a picture of my computer screen. And then for the prompt grow, I was getting ready to plant another bulb for an amaryllis bulb. I did that for the first time last Christmas, and I went ahead and purchased it a couple of weeks sooner than I did last year because I'm hoping it'll bloom by Christmas time. And so I told the story of, it's kind of ironic. You have to grow the dirt first from that little, puck of dehydrated, planting material before you can actually put the bulb in there. So I told that story. And then ended up with home. And this is not the best picture of our house. There are lots of shadows, but this was the time of day that I had to get out there and get one that was current for, the state of how many leaves are left on the trees and the color of the leaves and the leaves in the yard and that kind of thing. Pumpkins on the front porch, but I've already got a Christmas wreath up as well. So a little multiple personality going on there. But I just told the story about how I love this home and the things we've done in this home, and things that are still to come here in this home for us. And that finishes it up. So I'm going to go ahead and put it into the folio. And if you don't know how these work, you just grab one of the straps and you go to your middle page in the traveler's notebook, or whatever kind of notebook you're putting into your folio, and just pull it over, get it centered up, and then that's how it works. And this one is this hole is further down. It's coming through this second hole here. So it's going to take a little bit for that to kind of settle in. But as it's held together and more things are put into it and the binding is together, or the band is together, it will flatten that part down a little bit more. So that is Pieces of Home for me for this fall season in 2021. I'd love to know if you participated in Pieces of Home, or if you did Pieces of Me, or if you happen to do both. Let me know down below and tell me which one was your favorite if you did both of them. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would love a thumbs up down below, and I would also love for you to consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, and become a member of my little YouTube family. So I will have close-ups at the end, as well as over on Instagram, where I would love for you to follow me as well. And until I see you in the next video, take care of yourself and do something good for yourself. Bye-bye.